What's happening? YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's your boy Lamont Tyson, Life Gains Channel, back in here with the original co-host of this show, the living legend. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you will learn before this show is over. The man is a living legend. It's the big homie Larry. How you doing tonight, my brother?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there. I went out and got some sunshine today. So, the vitamin D in the sunshine always makes you feel a little bit better.
Does vitamin D work for African Americans, my brother? Because that melanin tends to block some of the sun-soaking effects. So, are you sure you got some vitamin D3?
I mean, it was like 100 degrees today and sun shining. So, I mean, if I can't get any vitamin D on a day like today, I don't know what you can do. Drink some milk, I guess.
Shout out to the people getting in here early with us. We're not going to hold you long tonight. Tonight is our show because we're in between TV shows. We do current events and when we have those breaks. And let me give a big shout out to Daria Shanice Mallet. What's up, my sister? And everybody else that's watching us, please give us a like, subscribe. Larry's channel's in the video description. He's the first channel you come to in my links. So join that brother's channels. He covers you guys with tech. Big Larry, I got a couple of subjects, my brother. Because me and you haven't done it on screen, I've got the Black Panther 2 trailer. I've got a Terrell Owens getting Karen situation.
I haven't seen that one.
I know. I've got Fox News bashing Beyonce, and some would say rightfully so. The question is, everything that's happened to Beyonce in the last 2 weeks, will it tarnish her legacy at all? I got that for you. I got a story you sent me, Larry. Tyler Perry looking out for the old heads, giving them $1 million to do nothing but eat fucking McDonald's for an hour. I got that story for you. So, Big Larry, where you want to go, my brother, on these current events going on in this crazy United States? I was going to talk about Brittany Griner, but I just... In case you didn't know,
it dropped. We should talk about it. It just dropped. We should mention it.
We'll just start on out with Brittany Griner. In case you didn't see what happened today, Brittany Griner took about this much miracle marijuana, to Russia.
Yeah, it was the oil even. It wasn't even like it was the plant. It was the oil.
That's what I'm saying. This is oil. It drips. So if you was to unscrew this cap, it drips. It drips.
Yeah.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, now she's been over there like 4 months. Today, the court in Russia said she needs to serve 9.5 years in prison. Larry, this is clearly a case of where the punishment doesn't meet the crime. But I also feel like, Larry, this is, I want to say political retaliation, war retaliation against America, because they had put a deal on the table, Larry, to get her and this white dude out, which kind of makes me sick that you had to throw in a white dude to go along with Brittany Griner, but that's another story for another day. In exchange for this one real badass espionage spy killer that they wanted to get out. And then Russia said, hell to the no. We want him and this other killer dude. So having said that, Larry, are we going to get Brittany home? What's the situation with Brittany? How you feeling about Russia and their bag of tricks with Brittany Griner? Hold up, Larry. Yeah. Big shout out to Buzz coming through with the super chat. My big homie Buzz. Long time, my brother. Yes, it has been. We're glad to have you back. Shout out to Tressa C. We appreciate that 1406 super chat, man. You've been rocking with this channel.
Hit us with the double
foundation. Yes, man, and we're grateful. Larry, talk to me about Brittany Griner.
Man, first of all, 703. Man, I have mixed feelings about this. As somebody, as you know, as you have, I have both. We have traveled extensively. I have been all over this world. I haven't been everywhere, but I've probably been to 2-3 dozen countries. And I can tell you right now, when you leave your home country, you need to be on your best behavior. You need to respect the laws as they may be. And if you don't know something's against the law, if you're not sure, you should just be extra cautious. Like taking a drug into another country, it's just not a good idea if you're taking something like marijuana. If you have something like that has been illegal in so many places around the world, it's just not a good idea. And I'll be honest with you. Here's the thing. I don't believe that she didn't know that she had this. I don't believe that she didn't know that it was illegal. She's been playing basketball in Russia for a long time, for a number of years. She knows the rules. She knows what you can and cannot do. I am almost 100% certain that when she went over to Russia, as if with other professional players that are coming from other countries, I'm sure the team sat them down and said, look, here are some of the laws of our land that you must abide by because the consequences are very, very dire. And they probably sat them down and said, you cannot use illegal drugs. You cannot buy illegal drugs. You cannot have illegal drugs. They probably went through all of that. And they were probably looking for it. They probably had known in the past that she's done it. They were probably keeping an eye on her, but they didn't say anything because she was a big star and playing basketball over there. But now that they needed a pawn, in the game, they knew exactly where to go when she was coming in. I mean, first of all, she shouldn't have been going there. If I'm not mistaken, they had already told Americans, don't go there. You're not supposed to be there working. You're not supposed to be there doing anything because this happened right around the Ukraine thing. They weren't supposed to. Shouldn't even have been there. I mean, there's just so many wrong things. Now, don't get me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is terrible. She shouldn't be up there doing something, getting locked up for marijuana. It's just marijuana. Well, check this out. There are still brothers and sisters all over this country that are still locked up. Some of them are locked up for the rest of their natural lives for marijuana. That's it. For marijuana. So, I mean, don't go to another country and break their laws. I've gone to Mexico with a friend of mine, and I told this brother, if you have to go to the bathroom, go find a place to go. No, I gotta go now. He wanted to go and pee on the street. What happened? As soon as he pulled his little woody out to go pee, 2 cops came flashing lights on him, and he ended up getting hemmed up. They just basically told him, either you're gonna pay us right now or we're taking you to jail. And I told him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, Larry. On you got to know the rules when you go to another country. But even having said that, I'm frustrated with America because why are we picking and choosing who we want to help save from another country when the narrative fits your purpose? And I'll give you my example. Larry, you're a little older than me, so you'll remember this. Do you remember I was in high school when this white boy went to Singapore and defaced their property? He was supposed to get 20 lashes with a cane that's the size of my arm.
He did get 20 lashes.
No. They got it reduced to 4 because America.
No, that sounds right. I remember that.
America got involved. They said, no, this is heinous. It's not right. The country is like, look, to appease your ass because you're the biggest country in the world, we're not going to give them right back to you. We'll reduce that shit to 4 instead of 20. And I remember his ass getting here, and he was revealed as a hero. And I was rolling my eyes because your ass went over there and you were spray painting on their property. Why are we treating you like a hero? So for me, it's kind of like, where's America coming to help Britney in the same respect? Because now this chick is staring down the barrel of 9.5 years. Can America at the very least fight for her the way they fought for the white dude in Singapore? Maybe get that reduced to 2 years, get her ass up out of there. But the issue we're dealing with, Larry, is yes, she should have took more precautions to make sure that she didn't have it on her. But we're dealing with a person who is crazy, talking about Putin, who wants to make a mockery of everybody, every country. And he knows right now he's got America groveling. And he knows this can make Joe Biden look very bad because I am still of the mindset he was in bed with Trump. Trump was his useful idiot. And this right here is going to be something lingering that can make Joe Biden look horribly bad, not just to his voting bloc, but to those who continue to say, well, what has Joe Biden done for Black people? That's what Putin is doing with this situation. So again, the punishment don't meet the crime, but it's not America.
Let me just say this too, and I know some people, some people are thinking like Joe Biden should be doing more, or this is some people say this is a racial thing to it. Some people say it's all politics. It could be some of all of that. But also, let's remember there's an old white dude in there too, an older white dude that's a college professor. He went over there. He used to teach over there, I believe. He went over there and had the same thing. He had hash oil in his luggage. He got locked up and he got 9 years, and he's currently serving his term right now. I think he's been in jail for like 2 years. He's one of the other people that I think he's one of the other people. I think they're talking about 2 or 3 people coming home in exchange for this arms dealer. And he's one of them.
Right.
And so this is not something that was just like specific to Brittany Griner. This is something that other people have done. There's a number of Americans that have done this. I mean, remember that little dumb kid, the little white boy that went over to North Korea, and he tried to steal a political poster or something.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they locked him up, and they had him in one of those. They had him in one of those prison camps, and I'm sure he probably smarted off, thinking, "You can't mess with me. I'm a little white American boy." And they beat that kid damn near to death. And by the time they got him home, he had died. He was alive by the time he got home. No, I guess he was so injured he just died. I mean, that's one of those things. Don't go to other people's, especially not oppressive countries, and act a damn fool. Don't do it. I mean, I don't know. I have so many mixed feelings about this, because I hear so many people saying, "Oh, this is a consequence of our inequality in America, because the women have to go over there and play basketball because they can't make a good living here playing basketball." Brittany Griner is she's making a couple $100,000 a year, if I'm not mistaken, playing the WNBA, and then she has endorsements. I mean, I can tell you right now, if I make a couple $100,000 a year, I don't make that much money right now. I don't need to go and work overseas in some foreign job. I mean,
well, they're comparing it to what the men make. And
yeah, but you can't compare it to what the men make. The men, let's not. And for all the women out there who are going to get on me, I'm just going to remind you. The WNBA was started by the men because they wanted to give the women a place to play. And the WNBA still, to this day, is funded by the NBA.
Right.
That's what it is. If the NBA decides if the players union, the NBA say we don't want funded anymore, guess what happens to the WNBA? It's gone tomorrow. They don't have enough funds to run that league without the men. The men pay for their salaries. So this idea that making a couple $100,000 a year and then having other endorsements, she probably makes at least $500,000, maybe $1 million a year with her salary and endorsements. And you still feel the need to go play overseas? Okay, maybe you make all of that overseas and you want to go do it, fine. But then you have to assume all those risks. You have to assume those risks. And if you want to go, you can't be the entitled American. I mean, Brittany Griner knows that she's a 6 foot something black lesbian going into a white homophobic sexist country. You know where you're going. You know what you're going to contend with. Don't act like you're brand new with this. I mean, I'm not saying she deserves 9 years. I don't want to see her in some gulag, but I mean, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
See, my issue here is this. I just don't like the hypocrisy of how white people get treated versus how this chick's gonna get treated. Like I said,
the white people that have gone over to Russia and have done the same thing are being treated just as harshly. That's the thing. Like they're getting treated the same way. I mean, we can make that argument in this country, but from what I've seen, though, there's not like black folks are going over to Russia and being treated in some, and I mean, they may be on the streets in other ways, but from what I'm seeing, the white folks going over there that are American and they're acting up, bringing drugs in or doing whatever else, they're getting treated the same way.
I've seen 2 instances just since the war where you had 2 army ex-Army people. They're not Army now. They're civilians that went over there to help. They got in trouble. And what did America do? They run to their rescue.
Oh.
They didn't go over there as the Army, Larry. They went over there as civilians to help. And we go help their asses. Why we can't help Brittany Griner, who is she's someone who's she's not real high profile, but she's higher profile than a regular Joe Blow. And Putin is picking on that. And so that's why I'm saying Putin is utilizing this situation to make Joe Biden look bad, but I want Joe Biden to do something about this. I mean, you're trying to bring home that white guy with her that Larry just got finished talking about. And now Russia is asking, because now that she's a convicted criminal, they want more in a trade for her and the white guy you guys trying to bring home.
Yeah, I have to say this, and somebody mentioned this in the comments section, talking about those two dudes that were captured over in Ukraine. They're both combat veterans, and that does matter. They are both combat veterans, from the U.S. Armed Services. However, they should have never have been there. Joe Biden and the State Department have told these people, do not go over there. Do not join this, whatever I forgot whatever they call it. It's something akin to the French Resistance, but it's
right,
or foreign,
it's kind of like a civilian,
sort of like a foreign legion over there.
Like a civil, more of a civilian fighting force that was put together, like if we had our National Guard, except for it's made with civilians. A lot of these people were ex-military from around the world.
Right, and they told people don't go over there, and they get over there, and then they get captured. Some of them gotten killed. Like, what's his name? Malcolm Nance, I think, went over there. Why are you going over there, homie? There's no need. You don't have anything to prove. You've served this country honorably. You've written all kinds of books. You've helped people do. There's no need to go over there and get yourself tied up in this mess. I mean, first of all, he's high profile. The dude's a New York Times best-selling author. He's a vet. You get captured, they're gonna parade you all over Russian media. They're gonna probably bring him to Moscow and parade him around. It's like, if I was Joe Biden, I would just simply make it a blanket policy. If you go over there, we're not coming to get you. Period. If you go, I would tell them as a policy we have in this country, no man left behind. We're not leaving our brothers behind. But if you go over there as a civilian to go fight for a foreign country, you go over there on your own terms. You better hope that Zelensky and the Ukrainians go and try to negotiate for you, because we're not. We told you don't go, and then you went over there and you got hurt, you got captured, whatever. That's on you.
Okay. Post your comments, people. We're going to move on to something a little bit more. I can't even say this is going to be a free-hearted discussion, because I'm a little bitter.
Can I bring up one last thing, man? Yeah, about Brittany Griner? And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Marijuana usage is still illegal. It is still against the players' union. It's against the rules of the WNBA and the NBA, still against their drug policies. So I feel like if you're using that drug and you get caught, like, even if you're off, it's off season, you're still not allowed to use those drugs off season. They still test. So I'm like, now that you've been caught, I'm like, she's up there. She's admitting that she's breaking the rules in this country too for her own job. Like,
they did say that she did have a prescription for the drug she had.
That doesn't matter. There's all like, you can have a prescription for testosterone, but you are not allowed to use it if you play professional sports. You can't use it because you can't raise your testosterone levels beyond a certain point, because
testosterone and marijuana are two totally different drugs.
They are two totally different things, but they both can be prescribed. And my point is just because a drug is prescribed to you and you could use it legally in the country in the eyes of the law does not mean that you could use it and be within the policies of your job. And with the WNBA and the NBA, they still have rules that may be more stringent and more strict than our actual laws.
Well, end of the day, I wouldn't even argue that. It's just you better make sure that the country you're going to recognizes that you can have it legally.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's the most important part. So we'll see, man. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully, it'll work
I
out
hope
in
she
our
gets out.
favor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if nothing happens,
I hope she gets out, and I hope this is a warning to other athletes and other rich folks and other celebrities, because I hear about stuff all the time about different rappers and singers. They go to other countries. There was something just recently, I think, about Drake in Finland or something getting in trouble with, I think he brought some weed in or something. I'm just like, let it be known. If you think that you're so privileged, you're so wealthy that you can show up in another country and just blatantly break their laws, let some of this be a warning that you can't. That there's real consequences for your actions. Just because you're a privileged, American celebrity or North American celebrity, in Drake's case, doesn't mean that you get to go anywhere and break people's laws with no consequences.
Some of these people feel like they got fuck you money, Larry. Some of these people feel like they done hit the $1 billion lottery and their money can get them out of anything. I'm not saying that's Brittany Griner, but in terms of someone like Drake,
yeah,
you gotta believe he feels like he can get out of anything.
Yeah, but there's, some places, America is very much a capitalist country, and we seem to value money above all. And there's other countries that just simply aren't like that. That's not their attitude. They may value wealth and power, but not to the same degree. And so you're not going to be able to just have FU money. You're not going to be able to just say, I'm rich and I'm famous, so I can do whatever I want. They may be like, you're rich and you're famous, and now you're going to go sit in a jail cell like everybody else.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the Black Panther trailer that we have not reviewed together. I know me and Larry have some very, very strong opinions about where they're going with Black Panther 2 and the utilization of a fallen soldier in Chadwick Boseman and his depiction of T'Challa and Black Panther. Let's just take a look at the trailer. We'll pick it apart, and then we'll talk about what the issues we're having. Those of you that follow us well, you know what issues we have, but we'll talk about it anyway. Here we go.
No woman, no cry. Hey, little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Good friends we have, and good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears and say,
Larry, this comes out later this year. The first one was an event for African Americans. I mean, we do this, we know what it means. We go Wakanda forever, we know what it means. But we're going to be missing the element of T'Challa. And I would be fine with missing T'Challa for one movie if the next few were going to have someone replace him back. here's the thing about this trailer. Trailer looks good. Visually, it looks good. We got a chance to see baby Namor, full-grown Namor. We got a chance to see his villain, which is going to be this dude right here that they kept showing and people was getting it confused. He's an underwater dweller as well. And his power level underwater is that of the Hulk. So he's going to probably be a good villain. And then at the very end, they did flash us someone that we know is going to be Black Panther, which is going to be Shuri, 100% sure. The only male representation you've seen in the whole thing from Wakanda, oops, that's Namor, was M'Baku. That's all you saw. Yeah. And then Marvel did put the mural up, meaning that they're going to show love, support, and admiration to Chadwick Boseman, who played this character. But Larry, do you feel like there's been some exploitation going on over here? They're going to drag out this funeral, which I know people want to see, and I'm fine with that. They're also coming out with a Black Panther video game, and the fact that you have Namor, who looked like he could be Asian, I feel like Marvel's trying to fill the hole with the Asian community, because Black Panther would have been Marvel's biggest movie to date if the Asian community would have came out to see this movie. That was the hole that the first movie had, Larry, that it didn't go $2 billion because the Asian community wasn't feeling the Black Panther one. So questions I got for you, Big Larry. Do you think this is going to beat Black Panther 1, considering that the main lead is about to be Shuri as the Black Panther? And are you going to go see it in general?
No, it's not going to be bigger than 1. I don't even think it's going to come close. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to come close. It might, but it's not going to be bigger than 1. And if it is, I'll be extraordinarily shocked. I don't think it's going to be as good as 1. I
don't think so?
No.
But Larry, let me show you this again. This is Atuma. Atuma is going to be going to war with Namor, who eventually is probably going to have to team up with the Black Panther and Shuri. I think it's going to be, storyline and all that, this could be a better movie than the first one because of the villains involved cross-sectioning. But I also feel like there's going to be a black cloud over the movie because that void of having T'Challa, whose storylines with Atuma and Namor are some of the most rich storylines in Marvel's whole comic book run.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I just don't understand this. I just don't understand. This is just wrong because T'Challa didn't die. I mean, Chadwick Boseman did. I mean, Chadwick Boseman is an actor who played T'Challa, and he played Jackie Robinson, and he played James Brown, and
he also said, Larry, he also said he wanted them to continue the legacy of Black Panther.
Right. I think they saw how much Black Panther meant to young black boys and men, and they said, we can't have that. We cannot have that. We have to get rid of this. We have to get rid of this character. We cannot have that. It is too powerful of a character to let exist. And so let's get rid of it. Let's Willie Lynch this shit up, and let's pass it on to a lady. And
do you feel like, because I've noticed this too, Larry, I've noticed a lot of Black women influencers are all up for the goodbye to T'Challa, pass it to Shuri. Now, here we go. Here we go with this, Larry. Let me go with this, Larry. Yes, for my people that don't know, in the comic run, Shuri does assume the mantle for a little while T'Challa is the king. Okay, she did assume the mantle of Black Panther, but that doesn't mean that just because Chadwick Boseman died, you kill off a character who had so much weight in the storyline that you just don't bring them back. And I'm all for women's rights. I'm all for women having lead roles. Hell, in all honesty, more women had lead roles in the first movie than pretty much anyone else other than Black Panther himself. Right. So I'm all for that, but I'm also for...
You could still have T'Challa and have Shuri as Black Panther at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, you've had people in the last movie. There were 2 people with the herb in them at the same time. We had Killmonger and T'Challa both with the herb in him at the same time. In Civil War, you had his dad, who was the current Black Panther, who was Black Panther, the herb in him, and T'Challa, who had the herb in him. I mean, you could. It's not like you can't do it. It's already been done. You know, there's no need to kill off T'Challa to bring in Shuri as Black Panther. You know,
Larry, let me give you my grand hypothesis.
You know what they could have done? They could have simply have said, they could have taken T'Challa and had him off somewhere with Doctor Strange in the multiverse, and then Wakanda comes under attack and they need Shuri. They didn't have to kill him off. They could have just had him somewhere in the multiverse.
Now, I'm wondering how this is going to be the first time we've seen Black Panther and their lure since the snap and the undoing of the snap. So T'Challa came back once Robert Downey Jr. snapped him. He came back. So what I'm wondering is, how are they going to transition to he died? Like, what do you think what storyline are they going to put in here to say he died? Or is it going to be one of those things where they're going to say he was on a mission, he wasn't dressed up as Black Panther, and he just died? How do you think they're going to transition it?
The only thing I can think of is if somehow they manage the timeline where this and the funeral happened during the time between the original snap of Thanos snap and the other one when they brought him back. That's the only thing I can think of, because then that makes sense. Then they can say, okay, well, he got, they had the snap, he died, and now they're having this big funeral for him. This is during that 5-year period. And then maybe they have another movie where everyone comes back and he's back too. And so, and they have a new T'Challa then. I mean, a new actor playing him. They could do that, and maybe that would make this, if they did the timing like that. If this funeral scene is during that 5-year period, then that makes perfect sense.
Right. Now, Larry, I do believe this, and for all my people that has been following the recast T'Challa movement, I do believe in my heart they will recast T'Challa and bring a T'Challa from the multiverse. They'll bring a T'Challa where in his world, his planet is about to get hit by a comet or something, and they will bring him and drop him into this lure as the new Black Panther. It'll be just like having your brother there, all that good stuff. I do believe, Larry, that once this dies down, they will bring T'Challa back. They're just not going to do it right now. So
I'll tell you, this is the thing that gets me, right?
Okay.
This is the thing that gets me. And I talked about this before. I know other people have talked about it. I've seen a number of videos online from various YouTubers and movie critics and other people saying that they don't like the fact that it feels like the men are intentionally excluded from this film. Like Black Panther, let's be real. Black Panther is a movie or a comic about a Black male African king and his arch nemesis, and Killmonger for a long time, who's also another Black man. And then you had, all the people around that were all like his Ace Boom Coons and his villains. They were all men. Like the Dora Milaje that the role that they gave them in the movie was a much bigger, more expanded, important role than they were in the comics. They were important in the comics, just not like that. And so it's like, it frustrates me because it feels like when Black men make something, when we have a story that's for us, we include Black women. And then I feel like when Black women get their opportunity, it's all about girl power and they just sort of leave us out. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be elevating each other. And that doesn't seem to be going both ways. I'm not feeling like there's reciprocity there with the elevation. It feels like his brothers elevate the sisters and the sisters sort of turn around and look and say, I'm only dragging the sisters up. I'm only bringing them with me. And I'm like, I don't understand why that is. And that's why, and maybe I'm off base with this movie overall, but that's what they gave us in this trailer. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And it makes me not excited to see it. Will I see it? Sure. But it doesn't make me excited to see it at all. Not at all. And it's not because I don't want to see a Shuri Black Panther. I'm thinking that's fine. But come on. We had one Black Panther movie and they already want to give us another one. Recast it. They should have recasted him. Gave us another 2 or 3 Black Panther movies and then let Shuri take over.
I'm going to be fine with them if after this they finally start talking about recasting T'Challa. And Larry, like I said, there's so much story. Like the Illuminati, he should have been in that when they did Doctor Strange, because he was an original member of the Illuminati. So is Namor. Namor is a member of the Illuminati. When they finally have the fight between Atlantis and Wakanda, you have to do that with Black Panther because, oh my God, that's a knockdown, drag out. That could be a 2-part movie by itself.
Yeah,
then,
it should be.
Then you've got the whole saga with T'Challa marrying Storm. Then they fall out and then come back together. So there's so much rich storyline. I do believe, Larry, we're going to get T'Challa back. We're
and
just
they
not
have
going to get
what's her name?
Now.
The American chick that T'Challa was dating for a while, and God, what was it? Was when in the early comics when Killmonger was dealing with dude that had that resurrection altar.
Yeah.
I can't remember the American's name, chick, but there's all kinds of there's too much. Anybody who reads all these people out there talking about they're all about Shuri and all about a female, they haven't spent enough time with the comics to appreciate what T'Challa is and what he means to Wakanda and the stories that surround it. It's not that Shuri isn't important, but she's a secondary figure. You know, she's elevated after like 20 years. You know,
now I believe Larry that the movie can be good. A movie can be good without your main person, but the overall story arc, you've got to get him back. You just got to get him back. And there's a lot of great actors out there that could do it. I did a full YouTube video like 2 years ago on John David Washington.
There's a lot of actors out there. There's a lot of them.
What's my man name that was on that girl show on Stars, Larry? The boyfriend that kept getting cheated on. He could play the role. I can't think of his name, but he could play the hell out the role. Ollie Shelton could play the role. There's a lot of guys that could play the role, just as long as it's not no damn Tyrese. Okay, as long as it ain't no damn Tyrese. All right, no Tyrese, and we good to go, and we'll make it happen.
I mean, there's a lot of great Black actors out there, not even just in this country. I mean, if you just turn on Netflix and go look at all the great movies and TV series from South Africa, there are extraordinarily talented Black actors out there that you can bring over. I mean, the UK has a ton of them. I mean, I keep on talking about and thinking of American actors to play the role, but I'm often one of these people that's always complaining about American actors, British actors and African actors taking American roles. But Wakanda, even though it's an African country, it's a fictional country, so anybody could really play it. But I think with that in mind, you have the entire world for which you can search for your new T'Challa. And there's a lot of great Black actors out there all across, there's Europe, you have all these great actors in France and Germany and Spain. You have all across Africa. You have all Nollywood in South Africa and, all those various film sectors out there. There's no reason that people cannot, someone would say, we can't find a good actor to play that role. You can. You definitely can.
I'm with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll pin it there. Post your comments. We will be going to see it, and we'll give you a review. I think that the trailer visually looks good. The music looks great. It's going to be a sad, bittersweet moment. You're going to have a death, and you're going to have a birth, and then you're going to have someone trying to take over the Atlantis. Should be decent. We'll just see. I'm interested to see how the turnout is for this movie versus the first one.
This is one thing I do want to. I have a question about this: is why in the world, if they had this, if T'Challa died, why in the world would it not be M'Baku who takes over? He's there.
He's in the guerrilla tribe.
We know he wants the mantle. He fought for the mantle. He almost beat T'Challa to take the mantle. Are we supposed to believe that somehow that Shuri would have defeated him in battle? Are we supposed to believe that?
we're going to believe whatever the hell they tell us in the movie because I'm sure they're going to sew that up. I'm sure they're going to sew it up.
I mean, they should just bring Killmonger back because let's just be real. Killmonger went. I know. I mean, in all seriousness, Killmonger went head to head with the entire Dora Milaje and won. You know, he went up head to head with them and won. So, I mean, if you're talking about a dude that's a straight up warrior that's going to lead you, that's my pick right there.
Well, for Larry's sake, ladies and gentlemen, maybe Namor will bring up Killmonger's body. How about that?
There you go. He
got buried in the oceans.
We know he's still alive. But, you know, there are people, I've heard some people talk about, they're worried that this movie might be used as a way to try and sow divisions amongst Black and Hispanics because they're talking about the the Aztecian, connection with Namor, and they're worried that they might try and use that. Hollywood might try and use that as a sort of a point of division between Blacks and Hispanics. And I hope something like that doesn't happen. I hope they're very sensitive with all the cultural references that they have in this movie. So
we'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on. Post your comments down below. We'll talk about this thing when it comes out. So I'm going to let Larry choose this one. Larry, do you want to see T.O. getting Karen'd, or do you want to see Fox News bashing Beyonce? Which one you want?
Oh, God. Both of them, it's like wiping your butt with sandpaper. Let's go with T.O. getting Karen'd.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in case you didn't know, Terrell Owens is a former football player, and over the week, he was in his neighborhood. He was trying to get to his mailbox, and this lady right here started running up on him and screaming, and I actually have the live footage. We'll go to that footage right now, roll that finger, and we'll click the button.
I'm driving to my mailbox. She telling me I'm speeding, telling me to slow down. First of all, I didn't harass you. She's telling me to slow down. I said, what do you mean slow down? I said, yo, I'm just going to the mailbox. Then she goes, get the out of the middle of the road. First of all, I almost hit you. Now you're just making up stuff. No, I literally just like a Karen. You almost hit me. How did I almost hit you and I'm going to the mailbox? Yeah, I'd call you a Karen when I came over here after you said I called the police. Absolutely. Then you went on to say, oh, I'm the subject of the HOA meeting, this and that and the other. I got liens on my house, this and that and the other. Then you start bringing up my status, who I was, my HBO, my VH1. You the one brought it up, lady. I did it. You did it. You did. First of all, I didn't almost hit her.
I wasn't, but I asked him to slow down, and he got out of his car and started harassing me. He put his car in park.
Right, because you're going to yell at me. Do you have your ID? I've seen it, yes. I've seen it, but this is firsthand.
And now he's on live.
Oh, boy, and she's crying. Oh, my God, this is real. This is real. This is real. Here you go. Here you go, sir. This is real. This is real. This is real. This is real. I've seen it, but I've never been a part of this. This is real life. And now she's crying. Her husband tried to tell her to go in the house, but now she wanted to do the whole Karen thing. So I'm going to be here with my camera to show everything. First of all, you need to stop that.
You were speeding through the neighborhood.
It was not. I was in the garage. You're lying now because I was sitting in the garage.
She said I was First of all, I know what you're saying. No, I get you. I got you. No, this is real. This is real life in 2022. This is real life Karen stuff.
She crying.
I've never seen. I've seen it on TV. I've seen it on video, but I've never really been a part of something like this.
He was speeding to the neighborhood.
Now, okay, so for people that don't understand what was going on, Terrell Owens called the police, then the Karen called the police. The police that showed up happened to be a black brother. And it could have been a situation of he said, she said, but clearly we had a black lady who was sitting in her garage watching the whole thing, and the Karen was sitting up there lying. And when the Karen realized, okay, all my lies is not going to work because they sent a black cop, I'm still crying. And damn it. Because when a white woman cries, that's supposed to be the end all be all. Just like when I say I did this in the name of Jesus. You ain't supposed to talk about me and my Jesus. Okay? Because I'm a white woman and I'm crying. That means that I'm right. Nothing else is wrong. Nothing else is right because I'm crying and I'm right. Larry, talk to me about T.O. getting Karen in his neighborhood. Then the bitch gonna start talking about, oh, you got problems paying your rent.
Oh my goodness! How about you have liens and what? Come on now, stop that! Stop that foolishness! Stop that foolishness! My good, look at her up there,
Larry. And who rides their bike with flip flops?
And she got a little basket on the front. She started trying to crack it down. He was speeding through the neighborhood. I just killed it. I was like, my God, it is so ridiculous that when you film this and you see it and you see how quickly they go from being like angry and indignant to then just immediately flipping it to try and do this whole victim crying thing. That I'm so terrified. I'm so scared because he was speeding through the neighborhood. I'm like, come on, man. Just knock it off. Just knock it off. It's dangerous. But you know what? Let them keep doing this. Let them keep doing it. Do it so much and capture this so much that no one believes you anymore. That these white women that just cry on cue and they get upset, they're all Karen'd up. Let them keep doing it so that you can just be known as the boy who cried wolf. That's what it is. You just when a Karen starts complaining about stuff or says something that happens, people would just simply say, I don't believe you. You're gonna have to prove to me that what you said was right because you have a history of lying on this demographic. I don't trust you. I don't believe you. So
now, Larry, I just got to keep it real with you, Larry, and my audience. There are a lot of vindictive black women that are saying, Terrell Owens, this is what your ass get. For all the years they've ever seen him dating someone, he was dating white women. And there are some vindictive black women out there who are probably happy as hell saying, this is what you get for messing around with them white women. As many sisters are out there dating white dudes. I don't want to hear a nan word from none of y'all. As many of these sisters out there I see dating white dudes or anybody else that's not black. Y'all don't have nothing to say. You could have said something in the past, but you can't say anything anymore. You have no room to talk. So, the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter who he's dated, who he's married, who he's been interested in. Wrong is wrong.
This chick was just wrong. She tried. She tried to take him out. When I see stuff like this, I feel like they should be arrested for attempted murder because basically what you tried to do was have this cop kill this man because you didn't like him in your neighborhood. You don't like the fact that this black
lives in the neighborhood.
You don't like the fact this black man can afford to live in the same place that you do, And really the question should be is why do you feel like you deserve to live in his neighborhood? Who are you? He's one of the best of what he did. Who are you? What are you the best at?
Being a Karen. Look, Larry, this is classic Karen. Got a damn bread basket on the front of her bike. What in the world? Go to the bread house, lady. Give me some bread. She's out here in flip-flops trying to pedal on the bike. Like, this is classic tree-hugging Karen if I ever seen one right here. Man. Classic. Wow. Every time I see these things, it really upsets me because I think just how incredibly dangerous it is. And for someone like Terrell Owens, he's lucky in a sense because he's Terrell Owens. And you have I don't care if it's a black officer or a white officer. Most officers are sort of like the bro type dudes, and they're going to be the type of guys that watch football. So when they show up and Terrell Owens, excuse me, and this chick is over there acting like whatever, and talking about, he's speeding through the neighborhood, and he's like, bruh, I'm checking my mail. That's all I'm doing.
I think they're gonna have a hard time. It's not like it would be me up there. If it's me, I might have some issues. But Terrell's, they're gonna be like, lady, chill out.
And then Larry, she was hating because of who he is. Did you hear how he just started spewing who he was? And then she's gonna say, I don't give a F who you are. All of a sudden, after the cop was like, I ain't gonna go for your bull job, and then there was a witness.
Right. That lady said, I was right in my garage. I saw it. Then she tried to put on the crocodile tears. Uh-oh, none of this is working. Let me throw out my trump card. Damn, didn't work either. This is what happens when you have all these damn Niagaras. You have rich Niagaras that live in my neighborhood, rich Niagaras that are witnesses, and now you have them black cop Niagaras. There's too many Niagaras around me.
We're gonna move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the last story of the night.
Big Buzz coming through again.
Oh, Big Buzz, you the man, my brother. I appreciate that. Big Buzz coming through. Karen's calling police because someone is black should be charged with a hate crime. Damn.
I agree.
Buzz is like this. I wanted to send a message because when you put a law in place, it's not only for the person that broke the law, it's also to deter others from breaking said law.
Right.
And Buzz coming through with the $5 super chat saying, let's get it in.
I
so
agree.
Larry, my last story for you tonight is a lady that some would call an icon, trendsetter in entertainment. She has a whole group of people that follow her called the Beehive. I'm talking about Beyonce. And this has been an up and down week for Beyonce because she's gotten in hot water for using the term spaz. She sampled some material that had Khalees on it. Now, Khalees didn't own it, but she was in it, and Beyonce didn't say, Khalees kissed my foot, nothing like that. Hey, I'm going to be using your stuff. And then, Larry, she makes Fox News, and Fox News had a whole lot to say about Beyonce. Now, you know I'm going to have to dice them and slice them real good because nobody give a damn what they got to say about anybody black. But here we go, Larry. Yeah. And I'll give you first crack at it first, Larry. Here we go.
Ravi, do you like when you get a little bit older, sometimes you mellow? I mean, she's a parent. You know, you would think we haven't really seen her in a while. Barely dressed, dancing around. And now she comes back more vile than ever, putting out X-rated lyrics. Plus, what about the dimpled ass community? What about them? Are they insulted by being used in her songs? Have you thought about that?
Right, or those with stretch mark breasts, apparently. I won't recreate the words she uses in her delightful lyric, written by Drake, incidentally. He wrote those lovely lyrics, but why you would sing them as a renowned woman who young people look to, I don't quite get that.
Right, and they were wonderfully put together. There's great poetry there. I think it'll go down in history.
These clowns.
What?
These clowns.
Nigga, y'all the same dudes. Before your wife delivered the children, before she delivered the children, y'all asses done traded down for a younger blonde with blue eyes. And you got the nerve to talk about Beyonce, can't talk about women with stretch marks on their breasts. And from what I'm hearing, it was a term of endearment. Okay.
Yeah.
So
women are loving it. Women are like, we have our chick, Beyonce, our chick telling us to embrace our bodies as they are. Yeah. I mean, you're right. She is a mother. They're talking about she's a mother now. That's right. She's a mother, and she's basically
she looked like this.
Yeah. She's saying, look, this is me. I'm not the 20-year-old with the perfect body anymore. I have some stretch marks on me now. You know, my kids didn't wore out my titties a little bit after I breastfed for 2 years on a couple of kids. You know, I have some stuff, but nothing wrong with that. She's embracing it. From everything I've heard from pretty much everyone else except for these clowns has been very positive, with the exception of the spaz thing.
Okay. Now, how did you feel about the spaz thing? And she went and removed it. And Lizzo kind of got into the same trouble too. So how did you feel about that, Larry? Do you think that it was a good move for her to remove it? I think it was. She's showing that she cares. But I guess one could say, why did you even put it up there in the first place? You know, so what did you think about that, Larry?
I mean, she may just not know. I mean, let's be real. There are people who just don't know what that word means. I mean, in our comment section, I think it was you or Brandon, somebody asked, what does this word even mean? I don't get it. Why are people tripping out of this word? And I explained what it was, but I was like, I'm 50 years old. This was a word that was used when I was coming up. That was sort of we didn't always necessarily use it we didn't think of it as a slur, as in we were talking about somebody bad. It was though. I mean, we used to say somebody, stop spazzing out when somebody would, was getting all emotional or something, and somebody was getting all emotional and out of hand. We would say, dude, chill, why stop spazzing out? And that was, because it was basically saying people who had involuntary spasms and involuntary movements and stuff, people would call them spazzes. And yeah, it is. It is a slur of sorts, if you want to call it a slur. It's that, slur or derogatory word used towards certain types of people with physical, ailments. And so she may just not have known that. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't even know if she wrote the song, but I mean, big ups to her for removing it. I mean, she looked at it and she was like, look, maybe she could have been like, maybe I didn't realize. She could have said, I didn't realize what the word meant, or maybe I didn't think it was such a big deal, but apparently it is. I want to show that I care about all of my audience. And even though my artistic integrity is very important to me, removing a hurtful and harmful word out of my song is not going to compromise my artistic integrity. Nope. There's a big difference between removing a word from a song versus like what some people were trying to do with Dave Chappelle. They were trying to make him change his entire act. They wanted to change the content of his thing. They were like, we don't like those jokes. Tell other jokes. And he's like, nah, I'm going to tell the jokes I want to tell. There's a difference between that. Like on Fox News, they're trying to, in some sense, control her content and say she shouldn't be talking about stretch marks on her titties, or she shouldn't be talking about, sexualized stuff because now she's a mother. And so because you're a mother, all of a sudden you're not supposed to be sexualized. How do you think people end up with 4, 5, and 6 and 10 kids? You think they had their first kid and they're like, I'm a mother, I can't be sexual anymore. Everybody would have one kid if that's the case.
Larry, they think that the birds bring them and sit them at your front door in the name of Jesus. That's what Fox News thinks, Larry. They think that someone come and put those children in a basket at your door. And when you get married, if you get married, that's when you have baby the sexual way, when your man tells you to do it. And don't let Fox News not fool y'all. Shout out to the Crunk Girl. My homie been rocking with me since like 2012 when I was a gaming. She's been gaming. Shout out to the homie. But Larry, that's not all Beyonce got in trouble for this week. She fixed that, okay? She went back, and even though she didn't have to do a damn thing to appease Khalees, okay? She ain't had to do nothing. Khalees owned nothing to that likeness that was used. She went back and took that off, Larry. But there's still one more person that's mad, Larry. You ready for this?
Let me see it.
Are you ready? Someone who sucked dick in the White House while delivering pizza is mad at Beyonce too. Here we go.
Oh, man.
Monica Lewinsky asked Beyonce to remove her name from the Partition song lyrics at the Renaissance controversy.
Come on. No.
She going way back to an old song. She want her to take it from Partition.
No. I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why I say not to remove it for Monica Lewinsky. And that's because when she did that, what she did was she made a song that was very, if you guys, I don't know how many of you listened to that song, but that song was dope as hell. It was very sexually charged, and the music was just so like you wanted to grab your wife and just get it in right there. It was very like that. But what she did with that lyric, which was so smart, was she infused a bit of politics in there. Monica Lewinsky sucking dick was not just a sexual thing. It was a political thing. And whether she meant it to be or not, it became a political thing. And when Beyonce sung about it, it was infusing sexuality and politics all into this at the same time. It was a brilliant lyric, and I wouldn't say remove it. I just, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do
Monica,
it.
She's not removing it, Larry. You could forget that. Monica, go find you a new White House and do something else. Grow up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us, man. We're glad you came out to see us. I will be back to do P-Valley Sunday or Monday, one or the other one. And then we're going to be having the Hulk TV show. Me and Larry probably review that.
When does that come out? When does it start?
August 19th. They moved it back a day.
Okay.
We've got Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. You guys know I stay up on those. And then there are some other things I'm kind of looking at reviewing on the channel, as well as I'm growing a little bit and trying to make some waves in Hollywood. You guys stay tuned. Big Larry, what you got going on your channel that the people can look forward to when they go subscribe?
Oh man, just, trying to continue on with my tech stuff. And, I've been shifting over to do mostly, photography related stuff. So, I have a new camera in this new Insta360 camera that's in here that I'm reviewing. So this has been a lot of fun. I've been doing, like I said, I'm gonna start doing some more vlogging. So I went out today to the Maryland Zoo to go vlog a little bit, and shoot some pictures of some animals, and yeah, just, trying to get it in a little bit. And see if I can turn this YouTube thing in, make it happen the way I want it to happen. And if I can't, then I guess I'm going to do it the way I need to get it done. But
exactly, you're going to do it your way.
I'm going to try it my way for a few months. If I can't get it in by the beginning of the year, then I guess I'm going to go and do it the way I have to do it.
Then he'll do it my way, which is review TV shows. That's what I've been trying to tell him to do. He'll do it my way.
TV shows, because I'm going to make all y'all mad. But if I have to review Power, y'all gonna be like, why are you even reviewing this show? You hate it. I'll be like, you're right. You're right. They should. We need better shows. We need shows like Billions and Succession, except with black people. That's what we need.
So you wouldn't be reviewing those shows, Billions and Succession?
No, I'll review those. I'm just saying we need shows like that, but with black people. Okay. Like why does all of our stuff have to be like street hood level stuff, people killing each other and selling drugs and all the down and dirty? Why can't we have the shows about real G's out there, like that one? What was that movie that Will Smith played in, where he played that dude that it was the first movie he did with his son, and
when he was the stock investor.
Yeah, he was like some salesman. He was selling like medical equipment or something, and broke, and his son and him were sleeping in like bathrooms and whatnot. And then he became a stockbroker and ended up owning his own fund. And why not do a series about that?
Because America likes a train wreck. Even black Americans, a good majority of them, more so than the good expanded black folks you're talking about, like a train wreck. That's why
I can't imagine. I can't imagine a black Pursuit of Happiness. Thank you, Nadine. I can't imagine that there's not all kinds of train wrecks in a story of a black dude like that coming up and starting his own Wall Street, shop. I can't imagine that there's not that was one of those things like you and I think we both loved that show that was on with Regina Hall and Don
Black
Cheadle.
Monday. Monday.
That show was fantastic. Fantastic.
There's your show right there.
Right.
But you know what? But they cut it off because it wasn't getting enough ratings.
I think they cut it off because it hit like right as the pandemic came, and it was like one of those shows that was teetering on the edge. Like I think that if they would have gave it another couple of seasons, it really would have got its legs. But I think that because it was teetering and then the pandemic hit, I think they just killed it.
They killed it, man. The ratings wasn't doing well for it, but I'll tell you what, you stick by, my brother. There are some of us coming out of here writing some good stories, and you just hang in there. And by January, you might be on the bandwagon reviewing shows, and we'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. I'll be back for P-Valley. Until that next Sex is Hell video, we'll see you.
Peace.